comments from your paradigm?
My paradigm is a marvellous paradigm. Paradigm, isn't it?
Ambassador, maybe I could ask you a few words. The discussion of Ukrainian domestic policy, just 5 days from Ukrainian parliamentary elections, do you think it's appropriate at the United Nations Security Council?
Well, as you heard me say in the Security Council, we didn't see a need for this meeting, but we were ready to have it to discuss all of the issues involving Ukraine. And personally, I think that was very valuable. The whole of the Council talked about a number of the real issues in Ukraine that really threaten international peace and security, and I described a number of them. Russia's interventions in eastern Ukraine, the illegal annexation of Crimea, undermining at every turn the Ukrainian democratic institutions and the new democratically elected president. So I think it actually, it showed the world who the real problem is.
Do you think Russia uses it 5 days before elections deliberately to affect its results or meddle into that?
Well, as you heard me say, Russia has repeatedly tried to use the Security Council to distract and to have an impact in Ukraine. I think they fail when they try.
Thank you so much.
I don't want to be unfair to you because you might not be across this, but there's a joint statement the UK and lots of other countries on Libya have released. Are you across that or not?
Is that the one that the Security Council releases?
No, it's the Egypt, UAE, EU.
I'm actually not aware of that one at the moment. Sorry about that.
If I give you the question, tell me if you can answer this. The statement calls for a re-energisation of the peace efforts and mediation efforts of the UN. Are you able to answer what you think the UN should now do in Libya?
I'm not aware of the statement. Sorry, I wasn't prepared. But I would simply say we're fully behind Ghassan Salameh in his efforts, and I think it is really important that we get to a ceasefire and get back to a political process, because, as we are seeing, there is clearly no military solution.
And just for information purposes, there's been an uptick in violence in Idlib. Any suggestion of a council meeting?
So, again, I'm not sure where we are on that. The humanitarian pen holders, I think, have been considering these things. Of course, we call for an end to the bombing of civilians in Idlib. Thank you.
Is there possible that Russia, in some kind of way, using this kind of meetings to holding their topics in and using Security Council for holding topics which is maybe used for Russian propaganda or else, because the topic of Ukrainian language is actually has no meaning to hold in Security Council?
So, as I said in the council meeting, we rejected Russia's attempt to hold a meeting on this issue on the day that President Zelensky was being inaugurated, because that clearly was simply an attempt to distract from that successful inauguration after a democratic process in Ukraine. And we did reject that then. Today, I think the conversation was much wider. Russia tried to focus in on a specific issue, but actually a lot of countries, including, of course, Ukraine, used the opportunity to remind everybody just who it is in Ukraine, which is who is causing the issues. It is Russia's illegal annexation of Crimea. It's Russia's illegal activities in eastern Ukraine, destabilizing activities, which are causing all the problems. So, in that sense, if that was the Russian ambition, I don't think it really worked for them today, because I think a lot of people talked about the real issues in Ukraine.